Hello and good evening to the Parasocial podcast. I'm here today with my good pal, Marek Ishtar. Say hello, buddy.
Hello, guys. I'm Marek, and welcome to what is the first episode of the Parasocial podcast. We're going to be your friends for the next hour and how many minutes we're here.
Just get started. Marek, how was your day?
Uh, I'd argue it was a mixed bag for the most part, but overall good of a mixed bag. You get like the little cherry candies in there with the nice little gummies and all that crap.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually went out to visit my aunt today, real quick, because I have not seen her since my cousin's wedding.
Oh, nice.
And as an aftermath, I was working a little bit on a children's book I'm writing. You've been known because I know I've asked you to double check my. I
Oh
asked you
yeah,
to
no,
double check
I've
my.
actually been. I was actually looking at that a little bit earlier and whatnot, and it's not bad so far. You know what I mean?
Thankfully, I have someone who knows how to edit good, so they're helping me out with the process a bit more. Like I
Yeah,
said, I love writing, but punctuation is my weakest aspect.
punctuation and
Either
there's some grammar and spelling mistakes, but that's besides the point, I guess.
the
You know what I
big
mean?
brain am winning again, and it's all trapped in my dark world of spelling errors and grammatical problems.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I actually finished off RoboCop Rogue City today.
Oh, cool. What did you think of it? Because I know that's been a game that you've been playing a lot of recently and shit.
Okay, quick thoughts on it. I'd say it's a really good RoboCop game. Honestly, probably one of the best RoboCop games when you count the ones from like fucking Super Nintendo era or like the NES. But
Mm-hmm.
the thing is though is that I feel like at least some parts of it do drag, and it's mainly because like the side missions. I'm like, if you're a completionist, you're always gonna get the good ending, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming too that you choose all the right dialogue options, because there's sort of like multiple endings for characters and whatnot. So it's kind of obvious that I was already like locked into getting the good ending because all I did was just help everybody and just be a good cop. But at least there's like food for at least there's like food and room for being able to be a dick, I guess, if you want to, but you're RoboCop, so why the hell would you do that?
I mean, you could shoot somebody in the dick and whatnot. Just make it accurate
Actually,
to all the
you
movies and shit.
cannot you
Really?
cannot shoot innocent people. No. Uh I actually like that about the game because that is totally RoboCop's like zen.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
Yeah. That does fucking track and whatnot. So
I honestly like in the final portion there's a lot of like action with like civilians running away and shit.
Uh huh.
I thought I did shoot somebody, but no, it was a dude with a gun. I had to be like careful and whatnot. I'm like, wait a minute, is that a guy with you can't shoot anybody like straight up. RoboCop does not shoot innocent people, and that's like partial computer, partial he's a good cop. So you're protected from accidentally murdering somebody. You can only shoot people that attack you back, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of, and honestly, I feel like that hit me with the ending. That is the most important part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because like I said, I don't want to say it was like it did feel nice. The ending did feel nice, especially for like the way one of the characters is, but it gets to that human aspect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But I don't want to continue talking about RoboCop because it was a good game. How was your day? I don't want to take up your time.
Um, yeah, you're not really taking up my time at all and whatnot. My day was pretty good. It was just mostly just um, work and all that good stuff. I'm actually pretty excited about tomorrow and whatnot because I'm going to a concert in New York City and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah, I'm going to see the Damned at the Hammerstein Ballroom, and it's gonna be cool. I've actually did see them last October at the Stone Pony in Asbury Park, and they were, for a bunch of old guys, they were really fucking good and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
Fill
cause,
me in on that because I like music, but I'm not really like a band person. I'm not like a groupie, so I don't know anything about
okay, so The Damned are basically one of, if not, well, they're one of the first punk groups to come out of England and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see.
But not only that, like they were actually the first to, they were actually the first to release a single and whatnot. Go look up New Rose if you haven't. It really is a good, it really is a good song and shit. But you know, they were the first to basically release a punk single in the UK, like even way before like the Sex Pistols and whatnot. But
Yeah, but I've known of the Sex Pistols, but I don't believe I've heard any of their music. So that's
you you might have, but that's besides the point. But they've also done like some gothic stuff like later on in the '80s and whatnot. One of them that does come to mind is their album Phantasmagoria, which is pretty good. I've actually did listen to that like a month or so back. So
Phantasmagoria. Is it related to the video game?
no, this came out in '85.
I wonder if the game is based a bit off of the soundtrack or that
Nah,
album, I should say.
Phantasmagoria is kind of a common word for just like, you know, if you want to do some like gothic shit and all that. Because
That I did not know. So that's
a
you learn something every
a
day.
phantasmagoria was basically like back in the old days. They were just like when people went to like, you know, the theater and all that sort of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is all based off of my understanding, so I could be like, you know, I could be off in a few things here and there, but so basically it was just basically like this horror theater show where they would have like say like a fucking projector and they would like cast like an image of like a skeleton or a ghost or you know some sort of spooky thing, and the audience would just be like, you know, terrified out of their seats and whatnot.
That is very silly.
No, it is. Like it really is crazy to think that you know how like people's like initial reactions to like you know how like horror has like changed throughout the years, where it's just like you know back in the day people were like basically scared of just like you know Dracula and like you know fucking that sort of stuff, and like compared to like nowadays where it's just like you know fucking what's been like a new horror film that's just like come out and shit.
I've honestly not been on like the horror film. Oh well, wait, actually,
There was that one where
Imaginary. I know last year was Megan, that one flick from Knock at the Cabin, but that was last year.
yeah, there was this new one that I saw like a trailer to, and there's basically all these people that were stuck in there, like this cabin, like sort of like woodsy area and shit.
Oh,
And
is
there's like
that the
and there's like
the
some invisible,
Watchers?
yeah, something like that.
The Watcher. Okay, okay, so
Yeah,
it's somewhat like that. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
something like that.
I
I
feel
saw.
like that's
I
gonna.
forget what it was called and shit, but I think it was released, and I just never really like
I feel
heard
like
about
it's.
anything else beyond like what I saw in the trailer and shit. You know what I mean?
I feel like it's going to be one of those. It's going to be just like the fucking Cabin in the Woods, where it's like it's a movie about horror movies and we're the monsters watching them do stuff or whatever the
Nah,
fuck.
it seems more. It felt like it was like playing it straight than just like you know any sort of like
Okay, then.
fucking any sort of like
Well,
commentary on
you
them.
can still do subversion and play it straight, but we're not really about. You
It's
can
not
still do
really about
subversion.
that and whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Either way, it's still on the nose. But no, that's pretty cool. I gotta give them a listen. Then that's gonna be pretty interesting.
Yeah, yeah. No, like
But
the like. I'm excited too because again, their original drummer Rat Scabies like rejoined the band as of recently and whatnot. But also too like
rat scabies.
yeah, that's the guy's name and shit.
It's a fucking metal name.
Oh
to
yeah, no,
con-
it's fucking great. There's actually this one podcast that I do listen to, and they actually did a whole they did a whole history of like the band and everything like that. Go check out No Dogs in Space. It's made by the same one of the guys who does last podcast on the left, Marcus Parks.
Oh, you know what was funny was I was thinking about listening to them a little bit today while doing some work, but that
Oh,
did not come to pass.
they're actually doing they're actually doing an episode on Ed and Lorraine Warren and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Ooh, that's gonna be interesting. I wanted to like, okay, my big I'm not really into like the whole true crime aspect of stuff, but I have to say they have one of the best, at least from my point of view, listening in on it, they have one of the best coverages of Columbine. If that doesn't sound strange at all, coming from me,
Nah, I think I know
but
what you mean and whatnot.
because look, I rail against I will rail against the American school system as much as possible, and Columbine did not help at all.
I know.
But we're not here to talk about that, right?
This
We
ain't a
don't want
true
to
crime
waste
podcast. This is just mostly two dudes shooting the shit about all sorts of things and whatnot.
because we're here for you. We're
Yeah,
your friends, and that's gonna be the big important part here.
tell us about your day, viewer.
You know what? I can already answer right now. Their day was either going to be interesting or it's going to be more interesting now that they found us.
Yeah, you know that
But
does track.
I
That does
think
sound.
that I think that, considering that we are the Parasocial podcast, right? We're forming a parasocial relationship with you. I think that the first episode should talk about the parasocial relationships that we've experienced or witnessed, I should say, too, because I know for a fact that I've not really fallen into a parasocial relationship, at least as an adult. I know as a
Yeah,
kid, you think like, oh man, if I comment a lot on like my creator, they're going to my favorite creator or something like that. They're gonna listen to me or whatever the frick, right?
right. Yeah.
Which at least from my days when I started out on YouTube as what was it? I forget. No. So my earliest channel, but I don't know if that was the one. But I know that back when they were like essentially like direct messages on YouTube or
Mm-hmm.
you know personal messages or whatever the hell you call it. You
Remember
could,
when you used to have like comments on your YouTube channel and all that shit?
you know,
Like people can actually comment on your channel and not like on just a fucking video or anything like that.
they used to have that, but then everybody got the community tab. That
Yeah.
that was. I got excited when I unlocked the community tab. I was like, "Oh shit, I'm hit a milestone." Meanwhile, they're just giving it to everybody because they just want to get rid of that fucking comment section. Comment section on the channel. It
Yeah.
just made it more. It just made it more annoying to reach out to people you know IRL and you don't use fucking social media. But I'd say that like from my witnessing of parasocial relationships, right?
Uh huh.
The most important part is that like it has a whole lot to do with like, I feel like people trying to find themselves are like needing a friend, and a lot of like the instances where it goes on,
Mm-hmm.
it's mostly like people just what's the easiest way to get involved with something? Oh, just watching a YouTube video or going into some sort of like big group and whatnot. It's honestly, I feel like one of the biggest like effects that a parasocial relationship. If you've seen Mad Max Fury Road, yeah.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of like seeing Furiosa like one of these days and whatnot because I think that just like released or some
I
shit.
I I I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not interested in Furiosa.
Oh, okay.
Not to say
No,
I'm not saying
I know what I know.
and I don't
It's
want
not
to
out
I
of
don't want to
any
alienate. It's not any malice. It's just because I don't think it needed. I didn't think it needed. Like she didn't need like an origin movie, but everything was kind of explained well in the Fury Road.
Oh, okay.
But aside from that point, yeah. Remember in Mad Max Fury Road
Mm-hmm.
where the one dude is like, they're all driving in the car. I believe they're going after Furiosa and like all the ladies in the other car. And
Right. Yeah.
they're all talking about like I forgot the guy's name, but he's like, "Oh
Immortan
man,
Joe.
like yeah." He's like, "Yo, blah blah blah, whatever." And then he's like, "He looked at me. He looked at me." That's the start of a parasocial relationship right there.
Yeah, that's sort of like idolization slash like adoration of like say this big content like creator like doesn't matter like on any sort of like fucking platform or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Be it
Mhm.
YouTube, Twitter,
That little
Twitch.tv,
heart,
TikTok.
that little heart that a creator can give you on a comment that can go a long way into starting something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's very prevalent in something like a Twitch stream too, because there's more direct interaction rather than just, comment interaction.
Well, yeah, there's that whole chat feature and whatnot. So you basically, I don't want. Would you say it would be sort of like a two-way mirror sort of deal, two-way connection, where it's like you're going back and forth with like whoever else is like typing in those like fucking like comments or whatever.
It can be, or it can just be a feed the beast type of angle, I guess, because sometimes chat can go by so fast that you as a streamer, if you are a streamer, right?
Yeah.
You as a streamer, if you are a streamer, you're not gonna if you're big enough, you are not gonna be able to get all those chat messages. You cannot respond to every single one, right?
Right. Yeah.
But the moment you're able to catch one and you actually catch one and like read it, that person could then, the gears will turn. The gears will start turning. Not to say in a bad way, but it clicks like, oh, maybe if I comment more, come back, blah blah blah, I'll get noticed again and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the dopamine rush you get when you're doing something and you you're doing something and it's like, man, that felt great.
That felt
Cause
good.
and honestly, it goes hand in hand with life because sometimes life, like especially like I've noticed with adult life too, for the most part, that like, man, going from work when I was working at the moment, when I was working to home and then back the next day is my whole life, and it's just kind of shitty to be honest with you.
I mean, that's basically that is just basically how it is for like a lot of people, like myself included, where it's just like I go into the office, I do my thing, I'll probably talk to my coworker about like music or something or some other like thing, get back to work, and then just like come back home and like just basically like chill out on the couch and eat some dinner before I hop on my computer and we just like do talk before like just like basically chat before the stream and whatnot. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. It's like people will get entrenched into the same people. Sometimes, at least I am blessed with being a smaller streamer. So I feel like, here's the thing.
Uh huh.
I am not casting any sort of blame slash like calling out anybody that's part of my community. Everybody there is very sweet. But I have to say this, right? When I chat with people and stuff like that, like one on one in like a Discord call, because
Uh huh.
that's what we do in our server. There is the potential for the parasocial relationship to start building there too. It's not just in, I'm a very private person online, though I'm
Yeah.
willing to open up for you guys, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, though, like my face, very few people that I'm associated with know what I look like, right?
Yeah. You haven't
The
really
thing
done
is,
a face reveal or anything like that.
mm-hmm. Like I said, my character is my little character that I represent myself with, right? That's obviously going to be up on the screen. That's how I represent myself. That's my one way view.
Mm-hmm.
My little guy, my little pony guy can be anything it can be. He's literally all right. For the most part, it's pretty much the same like thoughts going in and out of that character's mouth, right? But
Yeah.
that's my barrier. That's my barrier to the outside world of the internet.
Uh huh.
So that's where I'm like, people I want people to know me as that. And if it's through any other way that my real face is shown, then it's probably going to be it's probably either A, going to be in, once again, I don't want to toot my own horn. It's going to be in like some sort of interview somewhere probably, or I
Or like
guess
say like a meetup like or some shit like that. like like
Mm-hmm.
like the
So what
Newgrounds
am I
meet
gonna
up a
do?
few weeks
Wear a
back and
freaking
shit.
yeah, like, cause what am I gonna do? Wear a fucking horse mask the whole time? Nah, that's kind of dumb. Well, nobody would really care if you want to be a persona, so to speak. But
I mean, we basically had like that. We basically had like one dude come in with like a fucking skull mask and shit. But that's but that's neither here or there and whatnot. You know what I mean?
it's just persona stuff if you don't want to like fully reveal oneself.
Yeah.
But
Or just do what like Yoko Taro does, and he wears like the fucking like that one mask, that one of the robots, like the robot mask and whatnot from like Nier Automata and all that sort of shit. You know what I mean?
I wanted to do something like that. If I said this, if I came up with I came up with a long time ago. I came up with a sort of half sitcom, half live show, right?
Yeah.
Where what I wanted to do was go to like the dark corners of the internet, and those would be my guests. It would also be some like B list to minor A list celebrities. I'd say like that too.
Like a talk show site type of deal.
Talk show and a sitcom combination.
Oh, sort of like the Larry Sanders Show.
Not familiar, but
It,
okay.
it's a it's a sitcom about a talk show host and whatnot.
Oh,
Uh,
is the talk show bits actually like performed live and whatnot?
I wouldn't say live, like it's still like all like pre-recorded and all that sort of shit. But
Oh,
it is like
well, you
in
know
that,
what I mean.
but
Like
it is sort of like in that sort of like style and whatnot. You know what I mean? Because
it's a real
it's about
audience.
it's a talk show host. It's about the life of a talk show host and all that sort of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, but yeah.
I'd I'd say it would be like okay. Once again, I don't want to go down too far down this path, but the point I wanted to do like the all right, be like okay. I know that sometimes your privacy is a real matter, but if you come on, right, I will
hmm
provide you with a giant paper mache mask that's like, a cartoon version of your face.
That honestly sounds like my old DeviantArt profile pic, which is just basically me in a fucking paper bag with a smiley face drawn on it.
Wait, you had a DeviantArt account?
I had a DeviantArt account for like the longest time, from like 2013, 2014 and shit.
No shade, but that's kind of funny.
No, it is. If you want to see some cringe fueled shit, look no further than my
Did you
old
just
fuck.
type did you just type up like angry notes or whatever?
Not really angry notes, but that's where like all of my old art is and whatnot, and half that shit ain't really fucking good, to be quite honest with yous.
There's always value in whatever you draw. Don't be like that, man.
But there was also like, I would also get into like these fucking like, sort of cringy like, fake flame war comments and all that sort of stuff with an old.
Fake flame war.
Yeah.
Did you make like an alt and then like have an argument with
No,
yourself?
this was with this was with a former mutual and all that shit.
Damn, this parasocial relationship is going deeper. Damn.
No, I wouldn't really call this parasocial and whatnot. This was just basically me and some other guy who was kind of like a fucking prick a little bit. But
Like you knew
this is like
them, but you didn't know them.
I knew them, but we just kind of like it was just kind of one of those things where there was some sort of like drama and whatnot, and like
Oh,
but that's
I get you.
but
High school
I
shit.
really I don't really want to like go further into that and shit. You know what I mean?
All right. All right. Here's the most important part of a parasocial relationship. All right, Zig, you're going to have to give me your entire credit card number, the funny numbers on the back, and your social security number. Let's go.
All right. Hold on. Let me just get my. Let me
While
just
I
get
do
my
that,
wallet out.
let me just open up my eBay list real quick. I have a bunch of saved items that I need a lot of money to buy. But
All right. Where?
either
Oh,
way,
here's my other pants. All right.
either way,
All right.
Zig is going to get.
I got my wallet out and everything. Here we go. I'm just gonna open it up like so, like that. Did you hear the snap?
I heard the snap. Go on, tell me more.
All right. I'm taking out my credit card and it's 69, 69, 69, 69, 69, 69, 69, 69. The numbers on the back are 420, and the expiration date is April of 2082. Did you get?
Damn it, it's all invalid. Come on, Zig. I need to look, I have a
I'm
ton of
not.
shit
I'm not giving into your fucking goddamn plastic addiction, dude. You already have enough fucking action figures as it is.
You know what they say, enough is never enough. But like, okay. I feel like as a like once again, what you there described too, despite it being real life drama, that is a part of a parasocial relationship right there. You can get into, oh god, because I know we were discussing somebody like before this where this can go deep into shit like cyber stalking and other crazy crap, which I know you guys aren't gonna do because you guys are cool.
Yeah,
But
but
the idea, well, sorry,
no,
you were
no,
saying
go on. I'm sorry.
you were the idea is that you've you have completely by accident through your stuff have forged a false friendship with somebody, or you have forced or through their stuff I should say, you have forced a false friendship with them that is a one-way street. The other person knows nothing about you. They'll maybe like your comment or they'll do this and that if they find it funny.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like I like and wherever I go, I'm gonna be honest with you too. Wherever I go, I just post. I just post when I feel like it. If something's funny, if something has to be said, I'll say it. I'll post it. I'll be like, "Yeah, there you go. Here's a funny one-liner. Blah blah blah." Move on. And I've had people interact. I've had people interact. I've had moments where I've left. It's like on a long-running thing, for example. I made a comment where I'm like, I noticed a funny detail that retroactively turned out not to be true because in a later issue of this thing, they made it clear that it wasn't what I was saying. So I
Hmm.
don't know if, like I said, this could be the minute parasocial relationship on my end, thinking that what I said affected something in the future retroactively, or who knows? Maybe if nobody said anything, nothing would have happened. And we have no idea how true that is because we can't see into the alternate timeline.
Right. Right.
But I know for a fact that you, like I said, I have not in like a super way have experienced a parasocial relationship because I know for a fact that a
I
lot of
would.
people.
Yeah. I really haven't. I haven't really dealt with anything like that too and shit. Or there are times where I do get like that sense of like excitement when say somebody does like my comment and it's like or likes my tweet or some shit like that. But it's like outside of that, it's not like we're broskies and we like drink a couple of beers on the weekends and watch the football game or like any sort of crap like that. It's just like you know, I have my own life. They have their own life.
Mhm.
We're just all like trying to get by and all that sort of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, okay. For example, recently, about a couple weeks back, I want to say, I don't remember the full amount of time. What is it? I left a comment. I got my little makeshift plush of one of the Monkey Wrench characters, and I took a picture of him, put him online, and I was like, hashtag Monkey Wrench.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah, the creator of Monkey Wrench saw it, which was kind of cool. But I didn't make anything out after that. I was just
Yeah.
like, well, that was my day. Cool.
Well, that was the
I'll bring
highlight
it
of my
up.
day. Guess I'll go gamble.
Yeah, like I'll bring it up in conversation. Like, oh yeah, like hey, look, so and so liked my thing. Zerl in that case.
Yeah.
where it's like, okay, a bit of an alternate too is like I said when we were at the Newgrounds meetup, literally taking a picture with Senior Palo, shaking his hand, chatting with the guy, and showing him my fan art.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
Yeah, no. Palo is like for as much as a big like new grounder artist, animator, all that sort of shit. The man's like really fucking like humble and down to earth and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Dude can, like I said, like that's how you make acquaintances and shit.
Yeah.
That's how you make friends and be acquaintances with people is through just being humble and doing stuff like that. So it
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't surprise, like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if there were like super deep parasocial relationships around Palo. Also, shaking Tom Wolf's hand was really cool too.
And showing
Just
him that
meeting
one
him.
thumbnail of like the Battle Block Theater
Oh
VOD
yeah,
and shit.
yeah. Well, like I said, well the thing about Newgrounds, it's like we're like a big family of cousins. You
Yeah.
know, there's the extended family, and then like there's the extended family. You never like you get to see these people like maybe whatever, but like that's you don't really talk to everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and you're not expected to talk to everybody, or you're not expected to get along with everybody. Not in the negative sense, I should say. Like
Just in
you
that
don't
whole
have.
sort of just in that whole sort of like thing where it's just like
I have no strong opinion one way or the other, basically.
yeah, yeah.
So everybody's just chill. So there's a bit of a difference there, but parasocial relationships definitely can form amongst a crowd like that because
And
that's a whole.
I've managed to see one happen in real time in a fucking Discord server and shit.
This is Zig's first time witnessing a parasocial relationship.
I know I kind of did like go into it a little bit during our was it the Onimusha stream and shit, or was it like
It was
sometime?
before. We didn't talk about it on stream, I don't think.
I think I alluded to it before and
A
whatnot, but
little, like, yeah, you like a little bit. Like you did an allusion to it, but no, like,
cause
oh, well
while
this happened.
yeah, cause while this happened and shit, it was just like it was happening in real time, and I just didn't understand. Well, at the time, I didn't understand like how anybody can lack any sort of self awareness and all that sort of shit. Where it's
Mhm.
like when do you realize where it's just like you're on a losing battlefield and all that sort of shit, and like
Like,
you're
and I
seeing
wouldn't even argue what you told me though is like I wouldn't even argue that he saw it as a battlefield at the most part, or I honestly wouldn't call it like a battlefield at all. It was literally just a dude thinking he knew somebody more than he actually did, just trying to be like, "You're cool, right?"
yeah
Like
I
on a personal level.
I know what you mean, but at the same time too, this is on a public server and whatnot. You've got the eyes of like hundreds of people just looking at this and shit. You know what I mean?
This is why my social interaction. This is why I have like fucking social interaction issues.
Like, no, I understand that and shit, but it's just like for
I
me,
wouldn't know
it's
honest. I wouldn't know how to feel if somebody came up and was like, you. If somebody like I barely knew came up to me and it was like, you and me are friends now, and we're like, considering the fact that I got fleeced at a convention once, I'd probably be like fully roped into that shit. Be like, help, help, help! They got me by the freaking lasso, and I'm just getting dragged away.
oh god, no, no. But yeah, like so. Oh my god, it was just like, where do I begin with this? I guess for the most part, it was So we're both Newgrounds guys and whatnot. I take it
Hmm.
like there's people who do know about the site, or that do know about the site, but just don't like go on it, or just like lurk, or
People
lurk.
or people be disrespecting it a little bit from what I've seen in a few instances.
Yeah, but what do they know?
Oh,
Anyway,
well, you know what? What do they know? I know for a fact that they know nothing now.
exactly.
Oh,
But
oh God.
that's besides the point.
You know,
So
you know something? Once again, the parasocial relationship is real. when okay, no, I'm fucking around here. But like the idea is that I did drop a podcast because the creators got very, very, very deep into crazy talk and shit. And I'm like, I can't anymore. I am sorry.
Yeah, honestly, I don't fucking blame you and shit. But
Friendship ended with Mudasir.
mhm,
Now, oh wait, no, what was it? I forgot what the other guy's name was. Shit.
friendship ended with X. Now Y is my friend. But yeah, no,
Coincidentally,
I
I
feel
did
like
make a meme about that.
yeah, I feel like I'm getting off track here a little bit. But
No, 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 no. We're
so
fully on point. You got this.
being Newgrounders as we are, one of the things that we really do see is just like ever since like the Friday Night Funkin' released and all that shit, there's always been like that sort of like uptick of users who joined just because of that fucking game and all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? So
Oh, the good old orbiter waves. You gotta love them.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Man, the last time we had an orbiter wave was when Homestuck was hosted on fucking Newgrounds, and look what happened there.
yeah, no, like even then like I'm still kicking myself when I was just like, oh, America's not gonna be like that. Man, was I fucking wrong.
you know, no, never in my life would I thought, and I barely know anything about Homestuck, but I know about that, and like I never thought in my life that Newgrounds would go down for a second time, but not because of like a long running webcomic or like a long running thing that finally came to like a different website. It was something brand new that just somehow took over the media by storm. And not only that, became like a gigantic like children's franchise because of fucking like copy paste YouTube channel.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's fucking crazy to believe and shit, but here we are. So this one user, huge funkin' like
A huge funker, as
a
we like
huge
to call
funker
them.
as some would might call themselves and whatnot. I, so join the site. Um, I know this was someone who was actually at the meetup and shit because I saw them like with their fucking like name tag and everything, and Ninja Muffin 99 and Phantom Arcade were at least two of the devs there and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Which I did not get a chance to speak to either, which was kind of sad. But either way, I had a good
Yeah,
time,
yeah, and like
and I didn't get to meet Spaz Kid.
same. Well, actually, no, I met Corey last year and all that shit.
That would have been awesome. That would have been
I
awesome.
didn't
But
really. The thing is, I didn't really talk to him, and I think like for the most part he probably would forget because again, I'm just one of those dudes who's just like shows up and is just like, oh hey, how's it going?
Zig the groupie, let's go.
Yeah.
No, no, I can imagine. No, I for some reason I can imagine Corey like shaking people's hands like quickly, like, welcome to Costco, I love you. Welcome to Costco, I love you. Welcome to Costco, I love you. In that sort
He
of
would probably
fashion.
just stare at you with like the. He would probably just give you like the 1,000-yard stare and whatnot, as you just look at him as like the air as he just not takes the air or some shit like that. But yeah, a week goes by and all that shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in this one server that I'm a fucking mod in and whatnot, that is like sort of Newgrounds related and all that sort of stuff. Pings Ninja Muffin on there, being like, "Hey, can you unblock me on Newgrounds?" I simply asked like why you posted your last news post and whatnot, like, and it really made me pretty frustrated at such an unfortunate time and all that sort of shit. He responds back and is like, you kept trying to add me as a friend like a million times and it clogged up my notifications and shit. And they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I'm pretty new. I'm pretty new to like Newgrounds and whatnot. I've only been a lurker for so long. It wasn't until like when this came out that I jumped on and all that shit. You know what I mean?"
Mm-hmm.
And being like, I've been a lurker for so many years. I did not deserve this and all that sort of shit. And then from there, it like devolved into like oh, I'm trying to apologize, but he's fucking like, defaming me on this public server and all this shit. And I'm gonna get Tom Fulp.
Buddy,
I'm going to get Tom Fulp to like, resolve all of this shit and whatnot. You know what I mean?
he's going to get Tom Fulp.
They're going to get like Tom Fulp and whatnot. And it's like, come on.
Oh, I don't think
Like
you told me about that part. I'm
I
like,
thought I did.
I don't remember. If you did, I don't remember. I have an ouchie in here.
And like there was also like this whole sort of like thing too where it's like, they sent like a PM
Mm-hmm.
to, Ninja Muffin and whatnot where it's like, hey, can you send a DM like just so we're like cool and all that shit. I want to prove it because they ain't believe in my fucking thing and all that shit. You know what I mean? My relatives don't believe me that I talk to you and all that sort of stuff.
My
And
relatives don't believe me.
and it's like this kept going on for like at least 3 hours. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And if you look at like hell, even if you look at like all the fucking like DMs, because they posted their DMs and whatnot too and shit. All of it was just one-sided conversations, and Ninja Muffin never even fucking replied back or anything. You know what I mean? And again,
He
it's like,
posted pics of the DMs, and it was just all the guys sending DMs, and nobody responding back.
yep.
The phone was off the hook.
Basically, and it's like, I don't fucking blame. I don't really blame Cam for like because that guy must get like fucking like a lot of DMs every day from just people who are just like huge Friday Night Funkin' fans and whatnot. Being just like,
That's honestly the life of somebody who goes viral. At least in terms of like, fucking something big that gets big, I believe anyways.
no,
If you don't
I'm
make
with
that
you on that
shit
and shit.
if you don't make that shit private, you are gonna get
You're just
fucking
gonna get swamped by that
swarmed.
shit, and it's crazy,
Honestly, it makes a good defense mechanism though, because it does, at least in a lot of spaces, it does keep you from getting bothered by bots too. So turn on that two-factor authentication. No, that's not what I meant.
Not
I meant
not
to
even.
say
Just
I meant to say
just make
just turn
DMs.
on your DMs only for friends, please.
Yeah,
Please.
basically.
It'll be much less of a headache.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be much less of a headache in the long run, I'm telling you.
Yeah, but there was also like this sort of like, and again, I can't really fucking confirm anything too, but it's like this person may or may not have like an alternate account just to talk to like Cam too or shit and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
I was going to say yeah, I thought you were I was going to say that I thought you were going to say that they probably have like, they're not,
I wouldn't be surprised if they.
neurotypical, I should say. But they're no like
I
like I
wasn't
said,
going to say. I wasn't even going to fucking like. I wasn't even going to fucking insinuate any of that or like make any sort of assumption based on like that sort of thing and shit.
to be completely fair to, once again, in a parasocial relationship can affect everyone.
Yeah, no, definitely.
It don't matter if you're neurotypical or neuroatypical. It can affect everybody. There's, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
the gear, like the socialization gears turn in your brain in different ways and patterns and crap, right? But
Yeah.
as soon as you like I said, and the click into the gear system can accidentally happen because that's how parasocial relationships go. It'll start turning and turning and turning and turning and turning, and when the gear system does break off eventually, it will still be turning and turning and turning and turning. And that's when the parasocial relationship hits full time in that person's brain. Hypothetically, I should say.
Yeah. But again, it was just fucking. It's crazy for me to see just like somebody go on for like at least 3 hours trying to be like, I didn't do nothing wrong. I didn't do nothing wrong. All the while, it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, you
Mm-hmm.
you. it's just like
You didn't have a relationship with them in the first place, guy.
you
Come on.
you're just a fan of the guy's stuff and whatnot.
Yes.
You're just a fan of the game and all that sort of shit. You don't really have anything else beyond that point. You like at that point, like he blocked you, you kind of just gotta have to move on and shit. As shitty as that does sound and whatnot,
The
it's
worst, like
just
I said, the worst thing that could potentially happen is like something IRL after this point. But
mm-hmm.
straight up, it's the game was over, Chief. I am very sorry. You you are a fan. You are a fan of the guy. You are not his friend. You did not know him. You did not get to know him, and nothing you really did got to know it. That's the sad dark truth of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it has to be known, like, because potentially, like, I on my honest takeaway with some parasocial relationships a little bit are, despite the dangers of them, because those can definitely lead to dangers.
Oh yeah, no,
They're
definitely. There,
they're
like this, it could potentially like turn into like some sort of like where it just gets a little bit beyond like fucked up and all that shit. But
there is some peace of mind in, like, it could potentially be like some peace of mind for somebody. It's just like, oh, take for somebody who cannot have a lot of friends, for example, or they're in a precarious situation that doesn't equate to them easily making friends. It could be a good way to cope, but as soon as it gets like dangerous, then it's like, okay, somebody's got to, like,
somebody has
you
to
got to take.
dial it back a bit and just be like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just I'm just a guy. I'm just like this guy who creates this. I'm a programmer. I'm an artist. I'm a musician. I'm just you're. There's still like you're just a fan. You just don't know about. You just don't know a lot about me. I don't know a lot about you. There's nothing really there beyond that fucking point and shit.
Now, despite out here's something that I should say too, because this is gonna go back in time a little bit, right before there was a lot of discussions about parasocial relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there was a time on YouTube, despite what we are doing with you guys, right? We are forging a parasocial relationship with you, so that we are your friends right now in this time period. That there was a point in time on YouTube where I feel like a lot of creators, especially creators that appeal to young children, tried to forge those parasocial relationships on purpose so that people would come back to watch those videos.
Well, yeah, it just creates like a. It does sort of create like that feedback loop of just like
Once
content,
again, you once again
content thing, or something like that. You know what I mean?
15 odd years ago, when you subscribed to PewDiePie, you joined the bro army.
Bro
You
feast.
subs- you subscribed to become a bro today. Oh, I still call the fist bump a bro fist because it's cooler than fist bump sometimes. Though Sonic Forces made the term fist bump cool again, so that's the that's my big takeaway from that. But, like, I don't know how many people, I don't know, like, cuz I only really watched like PewDiePie way back when, and I know that that was like the whole big thing with that.
Mm-hmm.
I never watched Tobuscus or anybody else in that sort of like weird informal manner. So
Same. Like and
I don't
again,
know if
I
they
didn't.
did it, but I know for a fact that that bro army thing felt like it was definitely forming that parasocial relationship.
Yeah, no, and I think like hell, even with like Dream and shit like that, there was that whole sort of like, because it's like funny because it is sort of like
More like hashtag nightmare, if you ask me. No.
just oh god, but yeah, it's like
You said one of my funny words. Well, sorry.
it's like again, you have like young impressionable kids and whatnot watching your fucking
He's got
shit.
the big, yeah. He
And he's like
act,
one of the, and he was like one of the
fucking his
biggest like
antics. I don't think he even knows that he spawned a fuck ton of parasocial relationships with what he was doing and saying. I will follow you if you vote for the fucking glow squid. That is going to fucking attach so many gears to the gear system. It's going to be turning out of control. I know that I actually, and you know what's funny is, despite me trying to stay out of like a lot of that sort of like social circle, I did watch his like video about all of like this stuff. I'm not a Dream fan, by the way. I should just say. I
Oh
just
yeah, no,
listened to that
we
at work one day because I needed to pass time, and
mm-hmm.
I couldn't escape. I couldn't escape into a minute, extensive fantasy that I have in my brain. I just listened to that for like, and the whole time I'm like, is he going to address that? Is he going to address his parasocial relationship forging? And no, he did not. So there's a whole lot more to the dream, to like the dream thing than, you know. But that was a big one. Is
Yeah.
I don't even think he realized what he was doing there. You know, he just kept going on and on about it, and all he did was just make it worse.
Mm-hmm.
And that I feel was like that I feel on his part was an accidental creation of a parasocial relationship by doing the things that naturally do it, though.
Maybe I guess, but it's like at a certain point, it's like
Well, because
I
the term stan comes from stalker fan, and parasocial relationships can lead to
yeah
stalking. So
yeah it could and shit. Like I understand that and whatnot.
he
Like I'm saying
he
with my
made
I'm
his
not what
own.
I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say
Yeah.
here, Merrick, is that for me it's like you do have there is sort of like that thing where it's like you do have like that sort of influence and shit.
Mm-hmm.
You may not be able to get like there's like you may have like some rogue people that will try to like
You
do
can't
things
control
or
your fan.
you
You
can't
can't control your
control your
fan
audience
base.
and whatnot. I do understand that, but there is like that sort of like you do have like some sort of like power and sway just to at least quell those back and just be like, don't hey, like if you're gonna do this, just don't fucking do it in my name. Don't fucking do any of this shit like as something that I would like condone or anything because I fucking don't or
If
whatever. You know what
you,
I mean?
like I said, you want
So
an
sorry.
easy way of avoiding like instant. No, you're good. If you want an easy way of avoiding like instant like backlash, right? You literally just say to you just say as a public statement, as much as you shouldn't have to say as a public statement half the time, that you don't condone this, stop doing it, and don't do it.
Uh huh.
Like
Like
with the what the instructions of the Insano Flex say. Don't do it. Enjoy.
mm-hmm. Again, it's like for me, it's like half of this should be common sense and whatnot. You know what I mean? But at the same time, too, it's like you kind of have to just do that little like PSA and just be like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
don't do this shit. I don't fucking condone it. I won't. If you are going to do this shit, I will fucking like block you or whatever and some crap like that. You know what I'm saying?
And this is why I don't really interact on social media. I literally like what do I post that's just going to make it seem like my life is quote unquote awesome. But I feel like we could save that one for another episode. The
Mm-hmm.
dichotomy between like the quote unquote false lives we have on social media and the real lives we live every day. That got dark. but but no, like look, if you do interact on like the Twitter or the Facebook or whatever other social media, though, Boomer Book is what it is now. You are beholden, if you are a big person, you are beholden to saying things. You need to have PSAs. You need to make sure that you're on top of this stuff. If you're not,
Uh huh.
then I don't know what to tell you, man. You might not be fully cut out for this.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like you have the power to influence like so many fucking people and shit. You might as
Mm-hmm.
well try to at least use it to make like to at least bring some good in this world and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
that's basically my whole sort of deal and whatnot. So
That's the
basically,
important that.
like, and I'll say this, like, going back to like the whole fucking Friday Night Funkin' like fan and like the whole Ninja Muffin thing too. It's just like the only reason why it ended and whatnot was because we and I'm using the term we as in like the moderators and whatnot. We're just like, okay, you this has gone on for like 3 hours. We're gonna put on we gotta have to put on slow mode for this sort of fucking thing, and we're just gonna have, like, at least just like what's the word that I'm looking for and whatnot,
Moderate it.
um basically that's what we did. Time them out. We timed them out like
Yeah,
for
there you go.
we basically timed them out for like a week or whatever. You know what I mean?
And that too can definitely feed the parasocial relationship.
I
What is
guess.
it? The negative reinforcement. But I'm not gonna,
Again, more
that's
so, it's
a
just like, for me, it's just like, hey, we're only going to like, we'll let you still do this and whatnot. Like, we'll still let you like chat in like this, but you know, we just want you to just like stop and like
Mhm.
move on and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So yeah, I think that's basically it regarding that and whatnot.
Because I'll say this too. The there is a bit of a aside from like the danger and whatnot, right? A good way to like a good way to like reel it in, and I should say this, like there's a big reason why
Mm-hmm.
it too happens to like VTubers too. Like people fall in love with the visual rather than the person behind the visual, so to say, right?
I
There's a reason.
think I get
There's
where
a
you're
reason
going. I think I see where you're going with this, but yeah, go on.
that like I said, there's that little bit of like I said, it kind of also has to go into like caveman logic, because you want to know what, like, all right, I have a weird point to make here, but it's going to involve the movie Castaway. But the thing is, like, with VTubers too specifically, people like the visual because it's like anime. And when I say VTubers, I don't mean like people like me who is technically a VTuber with like a little PNG of a little fucking unicorn that's like, "Hey guys, it's me, Marek," even though I don't act like that.
Yeah.
I act like I do now somewhat. But the idea there is that it's anime brought to life, right?
Uh huh.
And for a lot of anime fans, that instantly gets the gears turning, that gears instantly click, you know what I'm saying?
Uh huh. Cutesy
That'll
anime character and all that sort of
yep,
shit.
yep, 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 yep. And that is why there's like a bunch of like the memes of like the VTuber memes where it's like you pull the mask off and it's like, someone strange and whatnot. Like I said, the anime stuff definitely spawned a lot of like the snapback, like this like the come back to reality type shit. Like the if you ever seen that, like, well, for you've seen because I've shown that one to you, like the snap back to
Yeah, I
reality
know
thing
what you're talking
from a
about.
while
Yeah.
back. But the point is that, all right, I'm gonna use Castaway here as an example. Wilson is a parasocial relationship because we form these bonds to not make ourselves go crazy. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing is, though, is that the irony is that they can make us go crazy. So it's a weird dichotomy there, because what happens at the end of Castaway? Wilson leaves. He's taken to the ocean and whisked away to a life of adventure and fantasy, right? But, the guy's still on the island. He lost his Wilson. He can't talk to anybody anymore. It's why kids may it's this is also has to do with, like, I'm not bringing it up because the movie came out, but like it's why kids have imaginary friends. That could potentially be the first parasocial relationship. But now that everybody, from cradle to almost grave, now there's a screen in front of us, right? The imaginary friends might not be. Hold on, I just need to take a drink of water. My throat is barking.
You're good, dude.
I just heard my voice strain there. I'm like, oh yeah, that's how you know I've been talking a lot. But
Yeah.
the imaginary friends now are digital. It's like digital ghosts when you think about it. Hell, hell, I have my official imaginary friend, Grumpus McDumpus, right?
Who was spawned out of our fucking one of our fucking streams and shit.
But there's art of him. He exists physically on the computer.
I guess,
Like the
yeah.
kid watches no, because like it's like I said, when you go back to the imaginary friend concept too, where that's like the first parasocial relationship people can form potentially.
Mhm.
When you think about this in this weird way, right?
Yeah.
It's like we go back to it's like going back to like something like a cartoon like Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, where they have like the bit where it's like, like the quote unquote non-creative kids come up with these guys based off of what they see on TV. I wouldn't surprise me if it was real. There'd be like a bunch of like 2010s to like, like mid 20 like early 2010s to like whatever PewDiePie's there, or like a million different fucking cartoon characters or whatever the frick, because based off of like I said, based off of like the extended fantasies and whatnot that like some people can have or do or whatever, you're always trying to make a friend even in a precarious situation where, like I said, you can't have friends. So that's where the idea of imaginary friend comes from. And that's where I feel like that first parasocial relationship starts. You are making a friend from your own head, where the gears instantly turn and whatnot.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like I said, when it's one way through a screen, it's as if you're talking to an imaginary friend. But the thing is, though, there's a real person on the other side of that interaction
Oh yeah, no,
that
that I was just
can
going to say that
actually,
too and shit. Like
yeah,
it's
there's
another, it's a real person with their own fucking things, their own struggles, their own fucking like problems and all that sort of like deal.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's basically just that. Like,
It's why when we grow up too. Why when we grow up, the imaginary friends go away in like practice, because we would have actual interactions with real people and all that crap, right?
mm-hmm.
So imagine once again, a parasocial relationship can happen to anybody. This is me using an example. So imagine a socially awkward person doesn't really get along. Like, I don't want to say they don't really get along. They can't really click with people, or they're in a situation where it's like, okay, nobody at school likes them. They're bullied, whatever. They don't make a parasocial. You just go onto the internet, right? Because a
Yeah.
parasocial relationship doesn't have to start with a VTuber. It could start with a comment. It could start with artwork. It could start anywhere. Like you will see this in all sorts of situations, and just I thinking about it now too. I thought about like the guy in Japan who married a dating sim character,
Right.
and like that too is like that digital ghosts. That's like that digital ghosts, parasocial relationship, imaginary friend stuff.
Yeah, like I can see that too, but there's also that whole sort of like there's also like the whole sort of added thing with, say, like in Japan, where it's like, they're basically a very toxic like culture where it's like there's like that whole declining birth rate where it's like, nobody else is like, where it's like nobody just really has any like lives outside of
Yeah,
just like work, home, work. There's no
it's not
there.
the like it's not the parasocial relationship's fault that the things like that. But what
Yeah,
I'm
no, I'm
saying,
I'm 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 saying, like, there's that whole sort of like fucking like for me there's
it,
like there's more of a factor to it than just like, like a sort of, than just like, there's more to it than just like parasocial like relationships where,
yeah,
where shit like that
it's
may
it's
cause,
deeper. It's
shit.
deeper than that, but like there's parallels between the parasocial relationship and somebody like making marrying a freaking dating sim character, like for real.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely like some dichotomy there, but we're like, as much as it would be cool, we're not in cartoon land, right? So
Nah.
Bubble Buddy cannot just gain sentience and talk to us, right? We're stuck with Funny Muffler, Boo Boo Keys, and Snake Eyes.
We love you.
And there it is. That's the parasocial relationship right there. So, what do you think? What's up?
I'm sorry for laughing and all that sort of shit, but it's just like
Oh, you're good. You're
I
good.
just don't. Again, for me, it's like there are things that I do where I do see your point and whatnot. You know what I mean? But I think for the most part, like, you know,
there is no 100% answer. There is no 100%
yeah, no,
answer to the problem.
and
Or,
please, for the
you
love
know,
of God, do not regard this as like, well, we're experts on this shit. No, we're just two dudes
we're not.
we're just two dudes in a Discord call,
We
just
are
talking
here.
about shit and whatnot. We're just here for
No,
you, motherfuckers.
we
We're here
are
for
here
you.
for
We're
you.
here for you, man.
We're here for you for however long we've been talking.
Yeah.
So
So
that's where it matters the most. So
yeah,
if you got any input, tell us what you think, of course. That's the most important part.
yeah. Like put it in the
But
comments. Put it wherever. You know.
you are the most important part. Let us know and whatnot. Hell, maybe we'll get some actual information. There could be an expert listening to this right now and could explain to us a deeper connection. I talk about this. I talk about not specifically this stuff, but I talk about like similar stuff to with other people and whatnot. Because like topics like this can go out there and whatnot. This is like a as much as saying think of this as a social experiment causes so many red flags to go off because of like shitty fucking prank channels and crap from like way back when.
This is may I be perfectly clear with everyone. This is not a social experiment at
Yeah.
all.
This is a we're here to connect with you guys type of deal. The Parasocial podcast is here so that you can have friends right now when you need them the most. And that can be a magical thing.
Right. I guess that's really all that we have for now and shit. Right, Merrick. Do you think we've
I'd say
kind of
yeah, no, this was a good start.
yeah?
I'd argue as much as I could like, go in circles about the idea of a parasocial relationship for
I
like,
think we've hit
you
the
know,
main. I
we've
think we've
hit
hit the
the
main
we've
points
hit
and
the main
whatnot so
point.
far.
Of course,
So,
of course.
all right. Well, thank you all for tuning in and all that shit. Um. We may or may not come back again with that sort of thing and whatnot. So
Oh,
um,
we will.
uh,
We just gotta. I have to decide on what the next topic's going to be, I guess. But way to go, starting off strong in our parasocial relationship, our friendship with you, by talking about a parasocial relationship and how it works.
all right. Well, anyway, thank you all for tuning in. I'm Gur Ziegler. Again, this is Merrick Ishtar,
Hi, I'm Marek. Nice to meet everybody again.
and and so until then, we'll see. We'll we'll catch you all around and whatnot. Good night,
Bye,
everybody.
everybody. Have a happy summer already.